Now this is your original base right here. What happened was they built the Senate wing 1800, House wing 1807. The British, you know, they burnt our capital. You know what happened? We lost our mojo. Yeah, baby, but we got it back. It created jobs, infrastructure, you know. They actually voted democratically to burn it, so they used our system of government, so you can't. And we burnt our capital first. So what they did was they built the first dome in 1823. It was built by Bullfinch, and as the country grew, and we had the new wings in the 1850s, we had to make the dome bigger. So see that lip on down? That's your original base, and they built the world's third cast iron dome. Does anyone know where the first one was built? Did you say Russia? Very good. Nice job, Russia. They chose it because it was cheap, light, and readily accessible. 7 cents a pound to build it. That's counting labor, too. Ironically, the greatest symbol of freedom, I think, in the world was built by former slaves. How fitting. They started to build it, and the Civil War breaks out, and the builder said, let's go for it. We'll build it. Because the materials were on site. Later, Lincoln said, by building it, North and South will see that this union's going forward. Imagine the distance, in the midst of the Civil War, this dome rising in the distance. And in the rotunda was actually a hospital for the soldiers. They were dying in there. Now, it has two shells, like Parthenon in France. The inner shell is the original proportions, the outer. The cantilevers stand out. And there are 36 columns to go around because there's 360 degrees in a circle. That's my math prowess. I'm what's called math challenge. I've got issues. And the columns were hollow so they could vent smoke up and let water come down. And you guys being firefighters, you like water. That's your best friend. And so people say, how did they build it? Well, they built the pyramids long before they built this place. So, it's a work of art. And as you go up, you'll see. Any questions, guys? Do you have any answers? I know Arnold comes. You know, I correspond with Arnold. First thing I wrote, he sent me a plan of how we built leather jacket, 1 page letter. Wait, what did you say? I wrote him a thing called The Great American Dream. He sent me a plan of how we built leather jacket, a 1 page letter. And when he ran for governor, I wrote him a poem called End of Days, End of Grace, Asolista, Total Recall, Total Schwarzenegger. I'm married to Kennedy. Teddy still won't talk to you since the convention. You heard us bad, Can you imagine Teddy and Arnold together in a room? They're two of the funniest guys you ever met. They must have so much fun together, you know? You gotta love Arnold, man. It's what America's all about, you know, the great American dream. You know, come here, live a great life. He loves kids. He does a lot for children.
And in the middle of this tour, I'm going to get a call from Ban Ki-moon, the head of the United Nations. He's going to call me at 10:30.
Sweet. That was planned.
Yeah.
Now everybody's looking up at us saying they wish they were us. You're about 80 feet off the ground. In the center there, see that round spot? That is the center of Washington. The 4 quadrants meet right there. To the left is the House chamber. We call that the upper house, right?
I like it.
And the best way to get there is to get elected. Now this band that goes around the circumference is called the frieze. There's a 400-year timeline. And Bermuda used a coloring technique called grisaille, which makes it look like a sculpture. It's actually a flat painting. It began with American history. And as he got to Penn, which you can't see here, working, signing the treaty with the Indians, he actually died. Costagini, an Italian, stepped in, followed his plans until they got to the gold rush, the 49ers, at California, home of the governor and speaker. And people say, where's Steve Young? Well, he retired. There was the vacant spot for 60 years, and Alan Cox from New York did the Civil War, Spanish-American War, and the birth of aviation. Now, both have been restored in the last several years by Bernard Raven of Princeton University. He has since passed, but they're in excellent shape at this time. I'll tell you a couple of interesting things about it. If you look at that doorway and come out, see the soldiers with the guns? Mm-hmm. See the tree on the left? Take a picture of the bottom of that tree trunk right above the bush. There's actually a face in there. And they say it's Costagini's face, the curator. We believe it's his because the curator says it's actually his face. And if you look closely, I think it has his mother's eyes. Now, look at Columbus going down the gangplank. To the right is a Native American woman holding 2 babies. Look at the baby on the right. Take a picture of that and zoom it in. He actually looks like he has a beard. He looks a little bit like the Marilyn Munchkin way. if you look closely. But it's just a shading, but it looks like he has a beard. There are various faces in these paintings. Artists do things like that. Now, when you come here at night, this place is magnificent. I mean, it's incredible during the day, but at night it comes alive. What you're about to do, most Americans never get to do. It's one of the greatest things you ever do. What we're doing right now, it's just incredible. That's where we have our national funerals. Lincoln, Kennedy, Johnson, the unknown soldier of Vietnam. We crossed the street down in the greatest civil rights leader of our time, Thurgood Marshall. Came back to honor 2 police officers who died, Chestnut and Gibson. In fact, I got 2 poems on the record. If you Google last year at Police Week, Up the Lure They to Rise and The Unsung Hero, you'll see them in there. We then honored Ronald Reagan. People stood in line for 6 hours, 100-degree temperature. Well, there you go again. Well, you know, I wrote something for Ronald Reagan. I never knew it. Nick Smith put it in the record. I read it that day. It's in the congressional record when he died. We then honored Chief Justice Rehnquist. Rosa Parks, the mother of the Civil Rights Movement, got a gold medal in here and also had her funeral here. Did you see her funeral on television? Well, I wrote a poem that they read on television called As She Rose Up. Then we have Gerald Ford, great American hero, World War II hero, All-American football player, leader of the House. History put him the vice president, and then history put him as president. And you know what? He had a decision to make. Did he want to be president again, or did he want to heal his country and put his country first? He put himself last. I'll tell you a story about him. There was a sick woman in the cloakroom he knew for years, made the sandwiches. And he heard about it. He said, I'm coming to spend a couple hours with her. You know what he said? Put stanchion up. I don't want to talk to any members of Congress. He spent 3 hours with this woman when she was very ill. And she would die like 6 months later. I think he died like a year and a half after that. But it tells you a lot about what kind of guy he is and was. That's where Bob Hope became the first honorary veteran. I taught Bob Hope's grandkids. I have one of his drivers. And I wrote him a poem called The Gift of Hope. They wrote it on BBC and they read it on public radio when he died. He's the first honorary veteran ever in America. And I was here when I took leave that day. It was an amazing moment. 300 Tuskegee Airmen got their gold medals. Dr. Hite got her gold medal. Dr. DeBakey, the great heart surgeon, he may save some of your family members one day with the tests he developed and the pioneering things he did. So everywhere you go in this building, if you stop and pause for a second, you can hear the echoes of the past. And the future's in here with our great congressman from Miami. You know, the decisions they make our country great every day. And it impacts all across the nation and the world. You guys ready to continue? You have any questions? Now, as you go in here, you'll see this cast iron. You sort of feel like you're inside of a ship, you know, when you go here. You're like, today we shall into history. You're sure to see when Sean Connery came here. The women's knees buckled. She loves bacon cheeseburgers, but you know that.
That's probably the worst imitation of Sean Connery.
Roger Moore's a girl in mine. Now, when he came here, it was like unbelievable. Remember they had Tart Day?
Yes.
They all sang and had beer and sang over. Now, at this point, we open this up, and we can peek out. And if you want to look out, you can. I've only dropped it a couple times, so you get the shot. Long as your insurance is up.
Whoa. I can't see that. Oh, up there? Wow.
You know, one of the cool places to go in Miami is Kinko's. All kinds of artistic people come in. Especially one that, you know, right down there in Lincoln Road. I'm serious.
Nice view.
I think they open this up for security reasons, like when the president's here or something. It's just a few of them. But back here is a little meter. It measures the contraction of the building expansion.
Really?
You want to see this?
You can look up. Don't be scared.
Just don't bump your head when you come back. Sorry about that. This is another crime. My friend works over at the Ritz over in Key Biscayne. If you go there, ask for Anya. She's amazing. She's working Eden Rock. She's incredible.
Hey, now we're here for a DC tour, don't we?
I'm just giving you tips when you go back home. Now, as you get up here, the glass is original from the United Kingdom. The Roosevelt family purchased these paintings over on the top here from England. The Roosevelt family purchased it.